Content disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed in the media or comments on this channel are those of the speakers or authors and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions held by this channel's broadcaster. Due to the social nature of the broadcasting channel, videos may contain content copyrighted by another entity or person. This channel's owner claims no copyright to said content. The broadcaster of this channel cannot be held accountable for the copyrighted content. The broadcaster of this channel is a messenger and sharer of information and strives to verify, but cannot warrant the accuracy of copyrights or completeness of the information on this channel. If you have a complaint about something or find your content is being used incorrectly, please contact the broadcaster prior to making a copyright claim. Any infringement was not done on purpose and will be rectified to all parties' satisfaction. Now, with that being said, thank you so much for stopping back into another episode of One's Fear Us, They Fear One Us. I'm going to try to make this as quick as I can. However, when we're dealing with current events, we have to break some things down so that everybody understands kind of where we are and who the key people are that's behind the scenes that's affecting how we are relating to each other. And over here at Once Fear Us, they fear want us. They fear us being able to break that code, break that matrix. So we're going to start here with Trump and the gang are going to jail. I think some would agree that with the behaviors of these people here, along with other key figures, that we are having both a chaotic domestic challenge. We're having several, along with international challenges. And these people are some of the people that's behind what's going on, right? So we want to know a little bit about them. And we're going to do like I guess it would be like a lottery. We want to know who going to jail first. And second and third, we're going to take a pool. Let me know if you're interested in having a pool down in the comments. Share this information. Subscribe if you haven't. And definitely comment. But I think I want to do like a poll to see who all of these are going to go first, second, and third. Who's going to be fired? So because of that, I'm going to give you a little rundown on a few of them that we have in front of us. And then we're going to start with this one right here, Kristi Noem, the one on the top right, the woman on the top right with dark hair. So we're going to start with just giving a little introduction of some of y'all let me go back, who may not know who these people are. So let me start with giving a little rundown. So we have at the top left, J.D. Vance, who's your vice president of the United States, who changed his name at least twice. And he has, prior to being VP, he uttered total disdain for the president of the United States, but now he's the VP. Then you have Tom Holman. He is considered the border czar, who was seen on camera taking a $50,000 bribe. Then you have Kristi Noem, who was the former governor of South Dakota, who is now the Secretary of Homeland Security, overseer of ICE, and overseer of FEMA. Then you have Kash Patel. Kash Patel is a former podcaster who demanded, as a podcaster, that the FBI release the Epstein files, who, once he became the director of the FBI, he did not feel that same way. He's still holding out on releasing the Epstein files. And not to take anything away from him being a public defender or prosecutor or anything of that nature, he just has no experience from a traditional FBI experience. And of course, we have Donald Trump in the center, and we'll make him last. Pete Hegseth, who's the Secretary of Defense. We will not say WAR because we shouldn't be about that. We should be, if anything, defending our rights to our civil liberties, which are being taken away from us by you all. But we'll get into that in another vlog and comment. content. This one is just kind of giving a rundown of a few of y'all and breaking y'all down. And we're going to have a lottery to see who goes first. So let's go with Mike Johnson at the bottom left. He is the Speaker of the House from Louisiana. He is the top bootlicker who cowers to Trump's outlandish demands and feeds his narcissistic delusions. So he definitely us because he makes Trump believe whatever he's saying is correct, and of course we know it's not. And of course we have Stephen Miller, who's feeding all of that delusion into his head for his own agenda. Stephen Miller is an arrogant, apathetic, insecure racist whose agenda is pushing ideology from the Heritage Foundation and Project 2025. He believes in population control, eugenics, torture, and the U.S. going back to imperialism, dominating and taking over occupied territories in the world, look, including but not limited to, like Venezuela, Colombia, Greenland, Canada, and it's to take their resources and use them to our advantage. Who cares about them, right? And last but not least, we have Pam Bundy, the U.S. Attorney General from Florida, where Trump resides. Although she's the people's attorney, she's supposed to be fighting for our civil rights um, and defending our constitutional rights. That's part of our civil rights. She has spent over 40% of her time following direct orders from Trump, targeting various perceived Democratic opponents that he perceived that he had. She spent over another 40% of her time concealing the Epstein files, allegedly, because Donald Trump's name is seen throughout the files, which could incriminate him. So we got 20% for the people. That's Pam Bundy. So these are some people that are key figures in what's going on. And Trump and the gang are going to jail. So we're going to start with Kristi Noem, since she's over here with the Minnesota massacres that have taken place with Renee Good and Alex Preddy, and also in Los Angeles, California, Keith Porter Jr., uh, a black father, 43 years old, of two children. This is what ICE has been doing. Now, with that being said, some people have criticized her with the fact that she has minimal federal experience. She coming from a governor of South Dakota. Some have said that because she has a lack of direct law enforcement experience, unlike her predecessors, she has no background in professional law enforcement or security agencies. Limited federal policy depth. Because again, she is a state governor, they opponents argue her experience is largely state focused and lacks specialized expertise in counterterrorism and complex federal operations, which makes sense why everything is going just haywire and just chaotic. It's madness, to be honest with you, because she hasn't had experience in how to handle uh, dynamic circumstances. And this is one that people should kind of have an alarm or look at that and think, interesting. When we talk about getting along and everybody appreciating everyone's civil rights, strained tribal relations. Now she's in South Dakota. South Dakota has a huge population of Native Americans. Her accusations regarding drug cartels on tribal lands led her to being banned from all 9 South Dakota tribal reservations. All 9. Sorry about that, you all. And let's go to it. So it's not just the natives over here, it's just natives, period, apparently, because over 200 Venezuelans in the U.S. were snatched up by ICE and shipped to an infamous prison in El Salvador named Sicat before the Minnesota massacre, before Keith Porter Jr. in Los Angeles, California on New Year's Eve of this year. This is Kristi Noem. ICE records indicated that less than 4% of the alleged criminals shipped to this foreign prison had a criminal record. Again, opponents argue her experience is largely state focused and lacks special experience in counterterrorism and complex federal operations. Why would you send Venezuelans to El Salvador? ICE agents admitted that most of the alleged prisoners were taken because they had tattoos. If that's not racial profiling, I don't know what is, Kristi Noem. That's why that's also those types of thoughts or behaviors, organizational behaviors, why they believe that she's going to be the first to go. This was going on before the Minnesota massacres. This is just some contact information to let you guys know that I'm on some other platforms as well. I usually go live on TikTok. Once for Us, same over here. Twitter, Once for Us, PayPal. Thank you for you all that have supported. We appreciate that. Along with the Cash App, Spot Fund Me. That GoFundMe is still going on. I Let me just say that anything and everything will be appreciated, and we'll leave it at that. The second channel with Crace TV, I'm dropping some content on the critical race theory because we want to break that down to some that may be unaware of what it is or uneducated. So I'm going to take some of what I've learned and apply it and share it with others on that platform. So stay tuned for that over there. And let's see, email. Oh yeah, if you have any ideas or questions or thoughts or whatever that you may not want to share in the comments, feel free to reach out at Crace TV, CRACETTV, Critical Race Theory at gmail.com. And let's head on back to what we're doing so we can get on out of here and round it up so we can get a part two. So again, let's get back to Kristi Noem, ICE, CCOT, over 200 Venezuelans shipped over to CCOT, which is in El Salvador. And to get this, 70% of current ICE detainees have no criminal conviction. Now, I want you to remember that because over 1,200 ICE agents participated during the insurrection on January 6th. You see here ICE official arrested over the weekend, facing felonious assault, strangulation, domestic violence charges. This is an ICE agent. This is an ICE agent. Over 500 agents are active members of white national groups like the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers. Now this is ICE. And the U.S. gave El Salvador over $3 million to harbor the 200 plus Venezuelans in their prison. It gets better. The Department of Homeland Security and Trump released convicted MS-13 gang members to El Salvador in exchange for boarding the Venezuelans taken off the streets of the United States. According to this particular source, ICE is holding a record of 59,000 immigrant detainees. This is in June of 2025, so it's increased since then. Nearly half with no criminal record. Now, the ICE agents had records. And then we're going to go with Kristi Noem with taxpayers' funds that we still don't know $42 million of the funds are, nor do we know how her undersecretary, I think, was a business. But again, this is talking about funds. This is how you can help me continue to help fund me with my PayPal. Just scan it and it should go to you. So again, thank you for those who have, and I appreciate the ones who want to and can. Just you coming over, liking, sharing, commenting. That means more than you know. So let me wrap it on up with this final just thoughts, if you will, with Kristi Noem being the first one to be fired, because this was really, these last events seemed to be the final nail to her coffin, some believe. When you have Renee Good, who was fatally shot in the face after the ICE agent had already shot her twice from close range. This is in Minnesota by an ICE agent under Kristi Noem. And Kristi Noem wanted to called her a domestic terrorist. I want to go back to y'all because I think y'all need to. Kristi Noem demonized her as a domestic terrorist. And then you have a man who was shot in the back 9 times after being beaten by over six masked agents, nurse at a veteran hospital. You can't get more wholesome than that. And he was actually trying to help a woman who was being beaten and traumatized by the masked ICE agents. This is under Kristi Noem. And Kristi Noem tried to say something, of weapon. They took the weapon from him before. And again, New Year's Eve this year, Keith Porter Jr. was murdered by an off-duty ICE agent. He was 43 years old and a father of two under Kristi Noem. So this is why some believe that she is going to be the first to be fired, to be let go, because Trump doesn't like the optics. Who cares that people lost their lives? He doesn't like the optics. So I'm going to come with the part two, because there are some things about Kristi Noem, not just the Minnesota massacres and the missing money. We're going to talk about the alligator Alcatraz down in Florida, the missing people that we don't know where they are, accusations regarding the drug cartels that led her to being banned. We're going to talk about also her unaliving a 14-month dog because it ruined a pheasant hunt. We're going to talk about her unaliving a family goat because it was nasty and mean. We're going to talk about her alleged affair with Corey Lewandowski. Google that name. You know who that is. That name should sound familiar to you. Allegedly going on, and it's an open secret since 2021. So again, we're going to have a part two. Just let me know what you think in the comments so far, what you heard. If you heard some of that before, leave, share, subscribe. Again, check out my other channel within the next week or so. I'm just going to kind of start with the basics as to what it is, and we're going to go from there. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. I know it was long. However, hang in there with me. You know what I'm saying? We got to unpack some of the stuff. So we need to know the qualitative aspects of what's going on in the world around us and how it affects us. Again, ones fear us, they fear one us. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and Ashe.